Do you know what time it is? It's time for Fishing with Stony Stone.
Welcome to Dock Talk with Sac Valley Gills and Guns on the Fishing with Stony Stone podcast. Join Rob Pyatt as he dives into fishing and hunting topics, from tips and gear to stories from the water and field. Available now on all major podcast platforms. Sac Valley Gills and Guns. Get your net wet. Call 530-713-2445. NorCal Tradition Sport Fishing. Call today 916-708-8323. Dakota Townley's Guide Service. Call 530-680-3717. Tule Creek Hunting Outfitters. Fishing and hunting. Call 707-695-7918. Stoddard Guide Service. Call 916-295-8851. Call D Lakes Guide Co. for your next fishing trip. 530-301-1616. Call 916-521-4641. Get the net for your next guided trip. K. Brock Rods. Built for fishermen, by a fisherman. It's what the guides use. Get yours at FishKevinBrock.com. Book a guide trip too. REPS. Real Estate Photography Services. Your first choice when it comes to your photography needs. Champions Cleaning Solutions. Champions Carpet Cleaning and more. Call a champion. 530-966-7141. Tackle Box Bait and Tackle, Chico, California. Get all your Kevin Brock gear and more. Great prices and quality, made by a fisherman for those who love to fish.
Hit that subscribe button and let's fish!
It's Monday night. The clock strikes 7 p.m. And we are coming to you across Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Get your gear ready! Because it's time to talk fishing! We've got the latest fishing reports, killer tips, and so much more! Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fishing with Stony Stone!
Well, it is Monday night. You know what time it is? It's Monday night to be fishing with Stony Stone.
What time is this, Stony? What time is this, Stony?
It's time. It's 7 o'clock. It's time. It's August 10th. And first, I want to address the chat. If you're watching this on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or you're watching this on fishwss.com, wherever you're listening to us, podcast station, make sure you leave a comment. We want to hear from you. FWSS.club. I wrote .com. .club is how you get onto our paid site and get a lot of exclusive content and some cool stuff. But thank you, chat. We will be listening to you guys through comments and then hopefully answering some of the stuff live. I want to give a big thank you to all of the guys out there that you saw those little ads for. These are the guys that are supporting us and we're supporting them. And I get a lot of questions about, well, how do I get to be one of those guys? I say, well, you can pick up the phone, give me a call, let's have a conversation. And we'll talk about what we can do for you and then what you can do for us. And it becomes a win-win situation. So thank you guys. Appreciate all your support and making all this happen. And if you guys are watching on those other stations out there, just hit that share button and get more people involved and support these guys. But I've got Julian from Blacktail Heaven. Going to be talking about Kings of the Feather fishing tournament. A lot of people want to know about what's going on with that. So we will get him on here a little bit about what's going on with that. And I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more from him as time goes on. And then Tom Maley with Get the Net Guide Service out of Folsom has a class he wants to talk about. And we're going to try to figure out what kind of class. So you guys in the chat, put in your comments. What do you think Tom's going to be talking about? What kind of class? I predicted it was going to be yoga, but we'll see what he says. And then I want to talk about my first salmon trip. Well, not my first trip, my first salmon fish that was caught this weekend.
With the banana.
With the banana.
Got the banana.
We beat the banana cameraman. I got my
Literally.
first. Literally.
Beat me with
we'll talk
bait.
about that a little bit. So a little bit of bait in your hair is no big deal. But there's a reason why. But we did catch a nice salmon. We'll talk a little bit about that. And of course, Rob Pyatt, he's going to be bringing on the Doc Talk. So we want to see what Robbie's got. He's got a few guys that I don't even know who they are yet, but we're going to figure that out and get to learn a bit about them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Derik Julian on with Blacktail Heaven. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. So you and I met via Facebook or what have you, probably last week, and things are moving quick. And you reached out for some help, wanted to get the word out for this tournament on the Feather River. And I want to say, get on the platform, talk about it. Let's get the word out together and then see where this thing goes. So tell us about that.
Yeah, sure, man. Appreciate you having me on here. So basically, I was born and raised in Grass Valley. I fished the Feather my whole life since I was about 12 with my dad and a couple of his friends that are unfortunately no longer with us. We were kind of like the Grass Valley crew that would come fish with all the local Orville boys on the Vance and on the Crazy Side, the Horseshoe, kind of all over that first 7 miles from the Gridley Bridge up towards the top of the hole. We fished all those holes growing up, and I've been away for a while. I'm actually living in Oklahoma right now, and I have a outfitting guide business that I built in Southern Oregon, actually. And I have a lodge there, a private ranch that I own, and then I have a couple other places leased out. So I started thinking about, well, shoot, if I'm going to spend, a majority of 80% of my year or so with my family in Southern Oregon, it's a hop, skip, jumping away from home, which is the Feather. So I said, what can I do to incorporate the guiding down into the Feather River, or just get out there and start doing something, since I love that place so much. And so I started doing offering walk-in trips, right, to help guys fish the bank, because not everybody can afford to take a boat trip, unfortunately. And some guys, like me, we prefer the bank. So I said, well, I got something that can kind of help those individuals out. I see people struggling out there constantly. So then I thought, well, how can we do something if I'm going to be there doing that? How can we take it to the next kind of level and have some fun together as a collective? And I was sitting in bed and I'm like, let's run a tournament out there. Why not? Everyone's kind of competitive hard out there already as it is. Everybody's kind of got a little chip on their shoulder, from the guides to the guys on the bank. It's just how it is out there. Tensions are generally already high, unfortunately, in some aspects. So I was like, let's just give it a run and see what we can do. We only had 20 days to get it put together or less. So it's been a scramble, to say the least. And that's how we came up with the idea, was just to try to up the ante and do something no one's done, and do something that everybody can enjoy eventually, right? The guides, the customers, and the guys fishing on the bank.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, that to me, this I thought was a great fit. You talk about the story, and I look at everything we're doing with Fishing with Stony Stone, and I feel like this is a good fit. Robbie's involved. I got several guides that are supporting us already, and I think there's just a lot of questions around how can the guides help? What does it mean with some of this stuff? And that's why, Robbie, I want to kind of pull you in to ask some questions here. Let me see what my producer's doing over there. You're going to pull Robbie in for me? He's all looking. He's listening online. He's like doing two things at once. But yeah, we're going to pull Robbie in real quick. There we go. No. So, Robbie, I know you had a few questions. I said, let's save them for the podcast. And what were those questions that we were talking about?
I think first off, maybe we should let Derik give us a broad spectrum intro, I guess, with Fishing with Stony Stone on his take of the derby or tournament, or what you have it. Let's have him do that so everybody can kind of have a general broad based understanding of what he's trying to do here.
Sure. So basically, I thought about a weekend derby, you may call it, right, or a weekend event. There's only so much the ceiling can handle with that, right? We can only go so big there. We have so much river bank and boat space in that specific stretch from the legal limit. I think it's 200 yards above that Gridley side boat launch, or not Gridley side, but the Larkin side boat launch, down to the bridge there. I mean, you could stack the banks and you could stack the boats and keep them spread out if it's a month long, right? And not only that, but that provides so much opportunity for so much people to get involved, not only competitive, but also the sponsorships, because we can have a month to advertise during the event, plus a lot of time to advertise pre the event. So just all around, the opportunity is so much greater, right? And So my goal is to have single man options, team options, and the reason for the teams is because most of us are working 2 jobs right now just to stay afloat. I mean, it's brutal out here. So not everybody's going to want to sign up and say, man, I'm only going to make it to the river 4 times in a month, unfortunately, right? But shoot, if my brother lives in Chico, I live in Nevada County, and my other buddy lives here, we're going to alternate and we're going to try to catch a 35-pound fish in that month, and we're going to take this bag home with us. So it's kind of common sense to open it up to make it have so much more opportunity for everybody. But it's a month long. Right now, this year, it's going to be heaviest fish takes 60% of the pool, and the others get divvied up between longest, and then final week heaviest will be its own complete own slot. And the reason why I did that is so that guys coming in second week, even third week, or from out of town, they're not like, oh man, there's already a 30-pound fish on the board. No chance of me at winning. Just kind of have a negative mentality about where it's to go for them. It's like, no, man, there's a whole separate pot on the last week that you can get in if you fish that last 7 days. And so, that's subject to change. Obviously, that's why we're here, right? Is to get everybody else's thoughts, especially the guides. But that was my initial thought for the first year. Can't do raffles, can't do anything of that substance because of California gambling laws. But we also have gift cards coming in from the sponsors. And so what I thought with those is like, well, why don't we incorporate kind of a challenge, may it be for like a weekend or whatever, smallest fish or whatever we come up with, right? Guy who catches the most fish in one day, and then we can give the gift cards away because, again, we can't raffle or do anything like that. So being the first year, everything's kind of up in the air, and I'm wide open for suggestions. And now for the guides, what I had was, let's get the guides involved, but how, right? I'm like, this is going to be tough. So I start calling Trips and a couple other guys. I'm not going to mention everybody. I had, not negative energy at all, but some guys are, I'm too busy. Other guys are like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Other guys are like, well, I ain't doing nothing because everybody cheats. So that's another topic
Yeah.
conversation. We're going to have to focus on the fail safes, right? And put those together.
I mean, you guys are so untrustworthy, you little fishermen. It's like
They
every
are.
tournament is like,
Everybody
oh,
wants to
maybe subject to a polygraph. And I mean, fair. I don't trust you fuckers either.
We got weights and fish.
We got fish. I just bought it from Safeway a half hour ago.
But the good thing is this guy's already thinking of these things, and it sounds like it's going to be very well organized. And I know, Derik, you're really pushing to get more guides involved. And I think it's just, the salmon rushes. Everybody's got salmon fever, and this is a salmon event. But I think us talking about what it means for them to get involved, either monetarily or whatever it means. I know there were some things you were doing with the guides, spending some money, and I would think about, if the guy's asking you for money is think about, what am I getting out of it? And a lot of it could be advertising. A lot of it could be, you're going to pay to help make all this work, but what you get out of it is people that want to do this, and they're going to call guides. Well, now you're advertising with them just like you are with us. And so all this stuff makes this stuff work. So
Yeah, so when it comes down to the guides, Tony, real quick, I'll run through what I had initially in mind was kind of a separate category for the guides. The guide wasn't going to take home any cash prizes themselves, but nonetheless, they were going to come in 250 like all the other sponsors, and then what they get out of that is everything that we've spoke about. They get placed on, we were in the newspaper, 2 newspapers. We're going on the news on, I think, the 13th. So everybody will get mentioned in all of that stuff. The flyers that are all over Butte County, Nevada County, Sacramento County, will update those weekly with new sponsors. So the logos are nice and fresh on there. They're on the landing page on the website. We'll be running carousel style meta ads next week. They'll be on all those. So we have a lot of opportunity. It's the cheapest advertising you're ever going to get for $250, period.
And I was just going to say that as you guys that advertise, you see some ads on my page, and the guides on me will never have to pay anything just because that's the agenda that I do. But there are other people, guides, who have businesses, and Anthony Sparks, right? He's a fisherman, not a guide, but he fishes. But you see his business is being advertised. He's my fishing buddy, but it's not free. He pays for that spot just like anybody else. So that's where I make the money to make all this go, is the advertising. So if you're a fisherman, you have a small business, we get you on. You're a guide. I'm not going to charge the guides, but you think about how much advertising costs. $250 is a drop in the bucket. How many guide trips do you got to do to recoup that?
That gets your name in front of a lot of people, and
Right.
a lot of people will
Right. So
schedule with you.
the reach is huge, and we appreciate the support you're giving us. But these guys, potentially are gonna have a much bigger reach, and us together is gonna be able to really blow this up for everybody. So when you think about the $250, think about you're paying for advertising that normally is gonna cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not cheap.
Yeah, so we'll be running. I forgot to mention the radio. We'll be running 15 days, 60-second segments on 100.7, starting like the 12th. I'm finalizing that stuff right now. And again, this is very sprint style for me. Generally, I like to come at things a little bit more calculated, but nonetheless, I also love a challenge. So even though we only had 20-ish days to put all this together, we're not going to back down from it. So we're getting it as far as we can, as fast as we can. But if you're on the back end of a 60-second reel on 100.7 alone, that's 300,000 people a day that are hearing that in the Tri-County area alone, right? That's a Chico kind of NorCal station up there. So it's very much so worth the support that you're providing. And also what we were planning to do this year, which is no longer an option, but we were just going to do King of the Feather, kind of a real nice, championship belt for the guides. But I couldn't figure out how to judge the top guide because they are going to be taking clients rather than fishing for themselves for money. So I was just going to go off a guide log and just say, hey, turn in your guide logs for the 30-day stretch. Whoever landed the more fish gets the belt. There's no money on the line, so I don't really see anybody wanting to cheat their way to a fancy belt. That's kind of morally not really something that motivates somebody. I'd hope not anyway. So that was what it was going to be for the guides. But again, the goal was the collaborative stance, right? And getting these guides to get on the landing page. And we would be able to say, hey, at the end of all the ads and stuff, if you do want to book with a guide because whatever reason that may be, here's your options. These are already guys that are involved and ready to go. They got open seats on these dates. Check their website or whatever you guys use for booking. So that was my goal. Didn't work out, but next year we're hoping to get that changed and hoping to get some input out of these guides here.
Yeah, and I think and personally, just because it's my podcast, I think you're in the right place, not because of me, but my reach is getting bigger. We've partnered with Kevin Brock. His reach is huge, and you're going to be part of that too. And then I've got Robbie here leading this Doc Talk. He's a kind of the voice and ears of the guides. And, so to get feedback, he's definitely the right man in my book. I'm not saying he's the only guy. There's a lot of guides out there going to give you, but if you want a fast track, this is the fastest way to reach more people quicker because I think we've got the right people.
No, Robbie is our only guide.
No,
he is the guy,
he's
the only guy.
So
get on his boat to catch fish because he hasn't been corrupted by the banana cameraman.
It's coming. No. But you see what I'm saying, Robbie, is so Derik, really what I want to do is you're going to get as much time as you want. Robbie's going to be involved as questions come up, and I want to make this successful for everybody. And if for whatever reason, there's something that needs to be shared to help this better, we'll share that. And Robbie will help, kind of get that. And, any feedback I get, definitely come. So leave the comments. You guys that are out there on the chat, put it in the chats. We'll try to get it addressed. And, I'm excited. Robbie, I don't know what my gut feel says what he's doing falls in line exactly with what we're trying to do as what, the brand is doing. And I just think it's a good fit. We're just going to go heads on. And if it is, it's going to pan out. And if it's not, we tried. And, but I have a feeling, I'm a gambling man. I think this is going to pay off. We'll see.
Well, it's cool to see, listen to his backstory. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been that excited kid, with the fishing side of it. It's really cool. And then to come into the community at a different level, whether it's guiding, Derik, you're putting on a tournament derby, if you will. It's cool. I mean, it's thinking outside the box. There's been things like it, but you're not a guide. You're not a part of a giant association, or you're just a fisherman that wanted to stir up some good, healthy, competitive drive in the fishing community, and good camaraderie is great. And that's one of the reasons why I love this sport. Talking with, friends. I mean, I may not even know somebody if, we get into this. And, a good, healthy shit talking's good every once in a while. It's
as long as it's healthy and never personal, just healthy.
Healthy.
Take the personal
Keyword.
shit somewhere else, but
Yeah.
you can.
But
I had this Italian guy that I grew up. Was believe it or not, I used to do bonsai plants for a long time. That's a whole nother story. But I used to make bonsai plants, and this guy taught me all this cool stuff, and he used to call it kibitzing. I don't know where it came from, but it's like when you're giving it, you're kind of kicking stuff back and forth, and you watch some of those old movies like Grumpy Old Men, where they kind of go back and forth. That's what he called kibitzing, and that's what I think Robbie's referring to is that whole kibitzing thing of picking on each other, but it's never personal.
No, no. Good, healthy competition.
Oh yeah,
We're
bragging rights, you know.
well, always.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I'm excited to see where it goes. Guys in the audience, if you guys want to leave some comments, maybe we can do a Q&A a little bit. If you guys have any questions, maybe Derik or I could help you answer anything. Tournament derby related, or even just what's going on in the river.
Yeah. So before we go too far, because I know this is going to be a hot topic for us to continue to talk about in depth, and I don't want to take the whole podcast to do that. What is the best way to get involved? What website? What phone number? How you want people to get in touch with you? Because you're definitely going to be back. But just to get people in touch, and I can kind of get Tom on and get onto the rest of the agenda. But man, I don't know. I just feel good about all this, and how do we get a hold of you?
Sure. So the website is blacktailheaven.com. You click on tournament and it'll give you all your rules and all of it'll be updated with all the pool amounts, and also that's where you'll be able to keep an eye on the leadership board daily. Every 24 hours the leadership board will be updated. Now we don't have guys running to the scale with a fish that's 5 pounds underweight every day, right? So it'll be kind of common sense on what to do. But also Instagram is Blacktail Heaven. And that's about all you need for now. And Facebook, we keep losing the pages, so we're having to rebuild those kind of at speed. So that's where we're at, is just Blacktail Heaven on both.
And their ad is rotating on the podcast at the very beginning, so you'll find their website and all that stuff. You forget, just go right back to the beginning and watch some of those commercials. But we've got commercial running for them already.
It's also in the comments.
And it's in the comments. So you guys that are online, you just go look at the comments. Their link is there. Click on that. Ask, go like I did. I went through, I had a bunch of questions. Robbie addressed most of them already. And just listen to Robbie talk. So you guys listening to this later, you'll already maybe get some of the answers you're looking for. And if it doesn't answer everything, give Derik a call and get on board. I feel good about this until somebody gives me something valid to say it's not a good thing, which I haven't heard yet. But we're there to support you. That's how I feel about it.
When are we going out for the Derby, Stoney?
When
are we signing up?
We'll work on that.
Are we going to get the banana team back on the...
Oh, my God. He wants to do a whole banana team now on this to see who can really beat the banana. Holy Toledo.
I mean, the banana's going to beat everybody.
How about you guys come fish the wall?
Ooh.
Hey, I'm willing to... Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm old.
I'll go back to my high school days.
I'd rather... I'll get you some guys like Robbie to go fish the wall just so we can video. Our job
Oh, come on, Robbie. Me and you, we'll go out here. We'll leave this old fart back in the studio.
Yeah, I'm going to let Eric do it. I want to film that because that's going to be funnier than shit. I fished with him this weekend, so I know. Anyway. All right, Derik. Appreciate you. I want to move on to Tom, guys. Not Derik, thank you so much for getting on.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys very much.
Perfect. All right, Tom, I know I went a little bit later. Tom's like, I know what 5 minutes is. Well, apparently Stoney doesn't.
No, that's totally fine. It sounds like a great idea, and I hope that it's a success.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, right? But we're behind him until somebody tells me otherwise.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What kind of class you giving or talking about? What are you doing?
So this is it's a class I'm doing. It's called Caring for Your Elderly Hamster. And I think most of us have had hamsters. Very few of us have ever raised hamsters to old age. They always disappear within the first 2 or 3 weeks. But if you happen to have one that, is very old, like 6 or 7 months, that's what the class is going to be about. And we even get into palliative care, hospice for hamsters. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So inspired my little Harry the hamster, which he disappeared about 5 years ago, but I know he's still out there somewhere. Anyway, no. Okay. What it is, actually, I'm sorry.
So I'm thinking to myself, I should have edited this out. I'm like, what's going on? I thought I trusted Tom, but oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm about ready to pee in my pants. I was laughing so hard. Anyway. Go ahead, Tom. You're good.
So the class is actually basic boat angling for California trout and salmon. I fish primarily Folsom Lake, thanks in part to the golden mussel stuff, but also thanks in part to the fact that lake has been fishing really well for the last year. I've fished it for almost 30, and this has probably been the best year that most consistent year I've ever seen it for trout and salmon. But I did this class last spring. It was like almost on a whim. It was my wife's idea. She saw that Sierra College was looking for kind of lifestyle classes, experience classes, and so I sent in a little thing, and they said sure. So I got to know Google Slides really, really well. I've got a whole presentation that's now kind of turnkey. It turned out really well. I think I had 17 or 18 clients. And what I find a lot, and I'm sure you other guides find this to be true as well, there's so many people that are curious about getting into fishing, whether it's shore fishing, whether it's boat fishing. I think the word is getting out through, folks like Stoney, that there are a myriad of fishing opportunities around here for anything that you can imagine, almost literally. And I think people are, looking for fun, wholesome ways to spend their time. And fishing is, I think, back on the radar for a lot of people, and on the radar for the first time for a lot of people. I had a lot of first timers that never owned a boat, but they're interested in going out. I had a student who was 14. And his dad had just bought a boat, and the kid was the driving force behind buying the boat because he loves fishing so much. And so I cover, basic stuff on trolling for rainbow trout, landlocked king salmon, delve into kokanee a little bit. I don't claim to be, a total and last word expert, which is why I bring in guest speakers. Last year I had Jerry Lampkin come in. And a few other people to talk to the class and share their wisdom. I'm going to do the same thing again, give them about a half hour of the class. And we cover, gear, trolling depths, water, what happens in the water as the seasons go on. It's hot this time of year. Surface temperature is 80 degrees. Those fish are down deep, but wintertime's a different story. Springtime's a different story. And so, anybody that's just curious about, getting out there and trolling for some really beautiful rainbow trout and landlocked king salmon and kokanee, this class is for you. It's Sundays. It starts August 30th. It is at Sierra College. It's from 4 to 5:30. I know that cuts into football a little bit. I had to schedule the class when I could. And the last class is going to actually be out on the water, and we're going to take students out. I think I've got 11 people signed up so far, and the limit is 20. And I think registration ends the week before August 30th. So if you're at all interested, you can go to my website, getthenetfishing.com, gtnetfishing.com. Sorry, I should know my own damn website, gtnetfishing.com. And there's some information on there, and I've got a link on there. And I would love to fill that class up. And if we have time, we can talk about aging hamsters too.
So Ben Harper would also like to take the hamster class. So yes, so the fishing and hamster class.
Yeah, I think you might have found your calling, Tom. You do the hamster class.
Yeah.
Hey, that's. I'm still laughing. Oh my God, Tom, you cracked me up. Hey, who's filming your class for you? You got a media team that's getting this footage for you to kind of just film your class and be involved. I mean, I might know somebody that might be interested. If
Film
you
the
don't.
class? No, God, I'm nervous enough just being up there in front of live people.
I
worked
mean,
in
if you
radio
film
my
it,
whole
they
life.
won't
I
show
never
up.
actually had to look
No.
at my audience. It's a different thing when you can actually see their reactions on their face in real time. It's completely different.
Right? No, but we can.
That's why Stoney likes podcasts, because he doesn't actually have to look at anybody.
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. No, it's all good, Tom. I appreciate you getting on with us. You're always on. Like I said, the guides that support us, anytime they want to get on, they just got to call me. And sometimes it might be about hamsters. I have no idea, but I have definitely appreciate you getting on and telling
Also,
about your
check
class.
out the fwss.club and see Tom's fishing reports from
yes.
Folsom almost daily or
Weekly.
multiple times a week.
Weekly.
I
Yeah.
get them weekly now.
Weekly,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of guides give us reports now and there. So if you're looking for real-time, reports from the ocean to the rivers, we've got several guides that are giving us fishing reports. So pay your $3 to $10 and get some cool content. So
Yeah. Thank you very much for squeezing me in. I know this was last minute, and I appreciate everybody's
Yes,
time.
sir.
So thanks.
Thanks, Tom. We'll talk to you later.
We appreciate you, Tom. Goodbye.
Okay.
Look at
Bye.
so Eric's telling me, he's like, yeah, Robbie, it's gonna be 7:30 before you get to your segment. I'm like, nah, Robbie, no, it's gonna be like 7:15. We'll be good. Look, the producer was right.
7:30 on the dot. Oh, and we're skipping a section
I
too.
know. Oh, we didn't even talk
had a
about my
segment.
salmon, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm looking at the clock. I still got a minute, Robbie. So
We got 1 minute.
so real quick.
Talk about the banana salmon.
No, real quick. So we did go out filming with Kevin on Sunday. Got a lot of great footage that's coming out over the next few weeks. You'll start seeing some of those clips. You probably saw a few photos and things, but a lot of our short clips will be coming out this week as Eric puts the final touches on. Several videos we shot. We shot a lot of footage, and it's always easier to make videos when you actually catch fish. And every time I take Eric out, we're not catching fish. So he became the banana cameraman because we for sure thought it was Eric that was the problem. And we beat the banana is what it boils down to. So it's not Eric. We'll have to figure out what the problem is. But
I'm thinking it might be Anthony.
it might be Anthony.
It might
Anthony
be
was not on this trip.
I mean, took 4 trips. Oh,
He took
3.5
most of them.
trips.
3.5, but
Well,
it could be Anthony.
4 trips to catch the fish we wanted.
True.
It took
We caught
3
fish.
trips to catch fish,
Right.
but it took 4 trips to
But
catch
that
the
myth
one we
is
actually
busted
wanted.
because when we went to Clear Lake, we caught 10 fish that day, and you weren't nowhere to be seen. So Anthony was on the boat.
Well,
so-
obviously, I know you know how to work AI.
It wasn't AI. You're full of shit. Anyway.
It was all AI.
No, it wasn't. We'll move on from that. But yes,
Yeah.
great salmon. My first of the year. I was really excited to catch it. That video will be coming out here in the next few weeks. Next week. This week. It depends on how busy I keep Eric this week. But in the near future, there'll be a video coming out.
I mean,
so.
oh, we haven't even talked about. So, for all of our wonderful followers and Patreon members, we are starting a new project called Fishing with Stony Stone episodes. So, we have the podcast,
Yes,
but then we also have the show.
the show. That's right.
So, the Fishing with Stony Stone show, where you're actually seeing us
Fishing.
on the river, actually fishing, doing the thing, only available on our Patreon.
Right. So that's where you like, subscribe, follow, and you pay on fwss.club. And there's 2 different tiers, and we'll have to figure out which tier that's going to be on. but
It's
there
on
are
both.
2. It's on both.
There's the
so-
shows on both.
Yeah,
but
the
you have to
difference
pay
between
for
the
it.
tiers on the $3 and $10 is when we give away prizes, the guys that are paying $10 get the higher value prizes. So when we give away trips to guides, which we're going to do this month, I'm just figuring out which guide it's going to be, but we are going to give away a trip. It might be with Robbie. I just got to figure out. We'll talk about that live and say, Robbie, you want to? So anyway, we're going to give away a trip as part of that. We'll probably do that drawing next week, and that's what the $10 members get access to is the cooler prizes other than just not putting it down at all, but we get a lot of FishKevinBrock stuff because he's a big supporter of that. But if I got other tackle boxes or tackle shops that want to supply product and we'll advertise for them, bring it on. We'll push your product too. Just let's talk about what that means. And Kevin's the only one that stepped up and said, "Push my product." And so that's not exclusive. You can get on the bandwagon. Let's just have a conversation.
If you have stuff to sell, come on board.
Yeah.
Come
So
on
Robbie,
the show.
back to you.
All right. Doctor?
We're gonna do Doc Talk.
Oh.
We need to have a really cool intro.
Wait,
or something.
where is the intro?
Hold on.
Give me the intro, and then I'll hit the...
Oh, you're going to hit the thing? And now up with Rob Pyatt with Sack, Gills, and Guns, we're going to be talking about Dog Talk.
Hey guys,
We had to get you a formal introduction. Come on.
I guess right. Might as well. Well, guys, welcome to another week of Doc Talk. We got a lot, but a little bit of stuff to talk about. Looking at what we've talked about before in the podcast so far today, we've had some pretty cool topics brought up. The guy right below me is Mr. Bryson Welsh. I've known Bryson for quite some time. He's a good fisherman. He's amazing out in the field on the waterfowl side with his clients. He does good stuff. So Bryson, thanks for coming on and talking.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you getting on.
We can't hear you, buddy.
Well, Eric's things around.
We'll let Eric try and get Bryson back
Yes.
on. Stoney, how was your
No, he's gonna come
trip
back on.
with Kevin?
Dude, it was a blast. We went out specifically to film that day, and it's getting us all on the same page of what to film, and we just shot a lot of how-to videos. We actually caught a fish, which makes it easier to make footage when you catch fish. You know how that story's been for us is it's been slow, right? The salmon haven't been up there in abundance, and
That
yeah,
fix
it's been a
anything?
challenge.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
big
You're
time.
back.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That's what I said a few times before.
There you go. So anyway, Robbie, yeah, it was a blast, and like I said, we caught a fish, and that footage will come out here. And to get a little secret, it was his row from the tackle box, is what caught it. He's been using those plugs, and when I talked to him this morning,
Store-bought row.
he caught 3 fish today. So we went from struggling one a day type thing to, bam, we caught 3 today. So a little bit of tweaks here and there. The fish are changing.
Awesome. Bryson, how's your salmon season been going, buddy?
First few days started off really good. I was super shocked. I had some family stuff come up, so I was off the water for a week or so after that. Ever since we've been back, it's been hit or miss. We're still getting consistent action though. At least hooking up is normal. Most days we're getting a fish to the boat. Some days 2 or 3.
So
It's
where
a
are you
grind
fishing?
though.
That's what I'm thinking. Where are you fishing?
Yeah, lower down, lower feather, like Starbend area.
Okay.
I like to troll. I have a hard time standing still on anchor. I drag silvertrons around. That's been my thing. Salmon candy and the here fishy fishies are
Yeah.
what I've been liking. Last year was like a shootout between the two, but this year it is. I think it's 3 on here fishy fishy, and I think 18 on salmon candy so far. So
And I,
salmon
and I gotta
candy.
say, I used those last year. I used the hair fishy last year, and we did catch salmon on it. So yeah, they do
Yeah,
work.
it's I've actually been kind of shocked seeing the change, but they're still working. I definitely keep the here fishy fishies out there behind the boat with the salmon candies
Nice.
too. So
And they're local, right? They're a local, guide out here, and so it's another local small
yeah,
business trying to make it happen.
yeah, the guy that does the here fishy fishy, you see him around out there. We actually I think his name's Rodney, the guy that owns Silvertron. He was out on the water today. It was cool seeing him.
Nice. So
That's
yep,
cool.
that's what it's all about.
So you're talking about trolling spinners. Why don't you explain to some people that may not know kind of the process that you're doing trolling
Yeah,
these spinners?
I like downstream. I do it exclusively. Basically, we're running a spreader. We got our dropper and we got our leader. I feel like your dropper length matters a lot more than the leader length does. Typically, what I do is I run 4 rods at a time. Anymore, I just feel like it's a lot of stuff to tangle up and try to get in if there's a fish on. And we don't really get any better coverage from it. I run a short dropper, which for me is 20 to 24 inches out each side, and then I have long droppers that I run out each side as well. I usually do 2 shorts of here fishy fishy, 2 shorts of salmon candy, or 2 long, or vice versa, so we can have 1 each out each side, and just pull them. I like to set back. Basically, a lot of guys, as soon as they start hitting bottom, they kind of stop. I like to go another 10 or 15 feet, just because sometimes you end up in a little deeper water and it's just not dragging, and that drag is a big part of it that triggers that bite. I firmly believe that. Um,
What kind of weights are you using when you're trolling these spinners down? Are you using
2 ounces. 2 ounces down. Usually 50 to 70 foot range. 60 seems to be about the sweet spot as far as our setback.
So like a slinky weight,
Yeah,
right?
slinky,
No, just
cannonball.
2 ounce round lead weight.
Yep.
It seems like they like to roll off of stuff a lot. You're still going to get snagged up. I
So
tell people.
when we catfish, right, and we go
Mhm.
dragging for catfish, and we're using those big long slinky weights that are anywhere from 2 ounces, 4 ounces, but they're pretty long, and we're dragging, and would that not work in the river as well, or is it just not the same, or not needed?
Um, I've never ran them. I I have a much harder time. I got away from slinky weights just from I grew up in Washington for a little while, and we drifted row a lot. And you with the slinky weights, I just never really felt the bottom as good. And then when I started striper fishing again, when I moved back down here, I just noticed I couldn't feel the bottom nearly as good with a slinky weight as I could just a solid chunk of lead. That's been what drove my decision on that, honestly,
Okay,
is
well, that's
just
good to
being
know.
able to feel it more. Yeah, I think the dragging is important because it gives. I was just talking with the clients today about it. It seems like when that rod really starts bouncing and you're marking fish, It triggers a bite. I really think that weight, grabbing, letting go, it just pops that lure out. Pop, pop, pop. Every time you see your rod doing that, it's happening at the other end of the line as well. So yeah, that's
just aggravating them, just getting them mad, and they want to go after it.
exactly.
Because they're not hungry, right?
No,
They're there
not
to.
at all. And our
The
fish today
reaction
was
bite.
angry. He was very angry.
He
He
was
let us know
awesome.
about it.
It sounds like you had a big fresh fish on today.
Did he jump?
Yeah,
Did he
man.
jump out of the water?
This is the first in probably 7 fish we've caught that didn't get airborne. That being said, he thought he was going for a run under the boat, and I knew what that run
No.
was, and I didn't like where the hook was, and he ran into a net. He almost swam the net out of my hand. we were
only
probably
reason-
Go ahead. Sorry.
I bring that up. The only reason I bring it up is, we posted a video of one of the fish, and the guys, I don't know if it was Kevin's or somebody else's, we posted a video and the salmon jumped out of the water, and they're like, that's a foul hooked salmon. They only jump when they're foul hooked. So it's kind of my running joke now. Is like, was it foul hooked? Or are you sure it was salmon? Because I'm like, I hear so many stories. Even the fish I caught this weekend jumped out of the water, and it wasn't foul hooked. It was right in his corner of his mouth. So I'm like, these weekend cowboys, or cowboy, they call them the keyboard cowboys
Yeah,
out there.
keyboard
wanting their
warriors.
comments.
Yeah. I actually have never heard of that. And I mean, when you talk about fish that are hungry, bass, your trout, your whatever. I've had catfish get airborne, and they're that it is a foul hooking. It's down in their throat. They ate it. So
And I have a lot of catfish videos with the fish jumping out of the water, and they jump and they're right in their mouth. But
and I honestly think a lot of the jumping is we have them by the head, like a horse by the reins type deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're in a fight.
Yeah.
If they're my fish that I lost yesterday, I was actually up to bat. I only had one client and a buddy out, and the client was like, "Dude, if your rod goes off, I want to see you catch one. You put me on a bunch of fish over the years." I was like, "Dude, I appreciate that so much." And when he went airborne, he was actually trying to go under the boat, and I turned him out, and it redirected his energy. He wasn't even trying to actually come out of the water. He was just going, I'm going hard this way. And when I pulled this way, that's where we met, was him going straight up.
that's awesome.
That's wild. A lot of people have something to say just because they want to be a hater, I guess.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be so awesome if we got that on film? I'm all about it. I want to film everything. I just wish, cameras were running on every boat just so we can get some really cool footage.
Come on out
We
and
got
strap some
cameras of
cameras
you
on
talking
the boat.
shit.
There you go. Usually it's got to be
Popular
held by a
belief, though,
banana.
that when salmon are jumping, when you have them hooked, it's because they're snagged. It's popular belief. A lot of people that do the beating up at various places on the American, on the sack, and on the feather. When a lot of times when you do foul hook those fish, they will jump. I mean, if I had a hook in my ass, I'd be jumping all over the place.
Totally.
So,
And I've seen a few salmon that have been foul hooked, and that they're fun to watch.
yeah.
It's always a letdown when you see, you're putting something in the net you're going to have to put back. But when you get them in the dorsal fin or tail, man, that fight is a completely different level. You know what I mean? Like, it's where you eventually run into a fish, whether you're dragging beads through a section nonstop or you're on a boat trolling or whatever. When you have pointy stuff in motion, sometimes they're not biting it and it just grabs them. And we had one last year, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's in the dorsal fin, but I'm also pretty sure you're going to get a fun ride out of that. And sure enough, it was. We cut it loose once we got in the boat. But I mean, that was a fish we probably would have typically had in 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we were there for 10 or 12 minutes, and it was a good time. Everybody, got to see big runs and all that stuff. So
That's always
it's a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about catching fish.
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct, Stoney. So, Bryson, when you're trolling, are you trolling on flats? Are you trolling slots? Are you bouncing back and forth? Are you riding the edge?
So just a short touch up on I lived in Washington for 6 years thing. That was age 10 through 16. So when I came back down, I was really focused on learning to run the river. And basically I look at my troll as where you would run the river when it's shallow. Those safe lanes to drive, those safe channels to be in when you're driving. that's just where the most water is, and that's where those fish seem to like to be. And anybody that's familiar with the feather knows that's almost never the middle of the river.
Yeah.
It's almost always off to a side. I really saw last year, it's similar to striper, that boat pressure pushes them right against the bank. A lot of the time, whatever side is deeper, they tend to get onto that side and just hug it. So yeah, I just follow that channel
Yeah.
that is there. Where the water naturally wants to go, that's gonna be where the fish want to be 90% of the time.
Those
And I
choke
mean,
points,
yes.
natural choke points.
Well, and that's one of the things too, is you learn it can happen anywhere. You might make one mad spinning those blades in front of them,
Yeah.
but I have clients called out all the time. They're all, I can see it. This is a spot where it happens. You learn where, yeah, you're trolling this 4 mile stretch, but you know that there's 8 or 9 50 to 150 yard sections in that however many mile stretch that you expect it to happen. Even if it doesn't, you just know. Everywhere else it might happen 1 out of 100 times, but it happens 1 out of 5 times in those spots.
Yeah.
And that's, those are the spots that you really start to
That's your
looking
gut
at
feeling
rod
as a
tips,
fisherman.
checking checking your speed, and you're all, this is where I gotta be. This is Brucey's time to shine right now.
Yeah.
And you gotta try to make sure everything's running perfect. And those
It's
are
the
almost
stick and
always,
move, right? You
yes.
stick and move. You just keep moving. You keep moving, and if it,
Mhm.
just sit on a spot for 8 hours and don't try anything different, it's like it's not working. And if you have that laid out, like you said, it's like you've got 8, 9 spots to hit. So one of those is going to hit. It's just a matter of did you get enough time to
Exactly.
get to all of them.
Well,
And something. Go ahead,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Rob.
To kind of caveat off of that, Bryson talks about, him trolling. He's not a big fan of sitting on anchor. I know a lot of people that sit on anchor with spinners and choke points. It might not necessarily be the same exact one every day. There's plenty of choke points. I've done I like doing it in the wintertime, when I have time away from duck hunting, going on the sack or in some spots in the feather too, fishing those choke points. If one doesn't work out, go to another one.
How long should you sit, Robbie?
start-
That's the thing that I always worry, right? Is when I
That's
sit
every
an anchor
fisherman's
is like
question. How long
5
should
minutes,
I
10
be
minutes,
here?
an hour. Yeah, right. As soon as I leave, it seems like the boat that goes in there after me catches a fish. I'm like, I sat here 4 hours or 5, whatever it is.
Just like
That's
slot
called
machines.
Murphy's
Right.
Law.
So,
Yeah, well, and
what is your
that-
what is your recommendation for I say it's not? I've sat too long.
I mean, it all depends on what kind of time frame and how you feel about.
Typical
I-
fisherman answer. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer.
You just
Yeah,
believe
but I
in
mean,
your
like, if I had
ancestors,
a-
and when
if
your
I had a-
ancestors to say leave.
if I had a group of clients on the boat and that was my plan for the day, I've heard the term squat and rot, stick
Right.
and stay, make it pay.
Right.
You can, but me, I don't like sitting on anchor. I might even go back to that spot. I'm gonna give it a good honest effort. To everybody that's different. It might be an hour, 2 hours, might be a half hour. If I'm just really not feeling it in my gut, I'm gonna say, you know what, guys, let's make a move.
Right.
But another cool part about that is, if you start high in the river system of where, that stretch that you're fishing through the day, you can go from sitting on anchor to trolling like Bryson does. That's a really good way to learn the river, learn the contours, and find those fish. And you might even find a spot that, you could see a whole bunch of fish sitting and go, yep, I want to park right here. There's just, it's the way
And I
you
guarantee
strategize and the
you-
way you choose to look at your experience while you're fishing.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, no one's going on Facebook to go find these spots. And everybody's always telling me, you're blowing our spots up by doing these videos and these photos and stuff. But there's so much more that goes into it. The most valuable information I think that's out there that I've seen that's real time is these guides that are talking to each other because they're on the water every day. And if they're not on the water every day, they know somebody that's on the water every day. So they're getting real time information because they're guides and because of their network. And that's why I support so many guides. And I'm hoping that with all these guides, I'm going to have some secrets to know where the fish are so I can catch more fish. But that's not happening. But I'm just saying is
But
that these guys
the
talk.
biggest secret is time on the water. That
Yes, that's
you can never
exactly.
take that back. Just because Bryson says I'm catching him in this 4 mile stretch, I could go behind him and do the same exact thing, and he could kick my butt. It's
Right.
sometimes you just don't do it like the next guy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all part of how you do it and the experience of what you make it. Just because you didn't catch a fish doesn't mean it was a successful trip or an unsuccessful trip. What'd you
Did
learn?
you have
What'd you
fun?
see?
Right.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Um, there's a lot of days. There's been some days where I've had clients on the boat. I've hooked and lost several fish. But guess what? If I don't learn something in a day, why even go? It's
Right.
you got to make your time out there on the water everything that you can. Look
Right.
at things differently. Think outside of the box.
Yes, Stoney. Think
Yeah.
outside of the box.
Yeah.
Think about something. Try
And-
something new. I don't know. Try catching a fish. Oh, you did that this time.
I did.
After you rubbed your row
did.
on the
There it
banana.
is.
Hold on. Here's so Kevin's fishing out there. He does really well, but we're out there. We're start to plug bite like he normally does, and then we start talking about my trip with Robbie. Robbie and I did some filming midweek, right? And we were up in that Gridley area working up this direction, a few different spots. Robbie's style is stick and move, right? We moved and tried, and had a few opportunities, and it goes a lot to. Sometimes you don't catch because the people you're fishing miss the bite, and you have lots of hookups, and it's not a reflection on the guide. It could be a reflection of the client, right? So here I am with Kevin, right? He's having some struggles with getting some fish, lots of missed opportunities, and I'm thinking here we are filming, and let's see what I do, right? Because everybody knows I'm not the great fisherman. I can follow direction, so we're doing it, and when the video comes out, you'll see it. I watched it like 5 times today as I was editing it. That bite wasn't a freaking freight train bite. It was just a little pull, and I'm holding it, and I start to lift, and Kevin just goes, lift, and I just lifted it. And then all of a sudden, boom, it started ripping, and we had the salmon. But I know there was other bites I felt like that I lost, and I never said anything, and he never saw it. And it's like, it doesn't make those guides bad fishermen. Sometimes it's just you don't know what you're doing. So listen to your guide, and you will catch more fish.
Ask questions.
Ask
Yes.
questions, yes.
Yeah, I
But
mean
yeah,
the going on a guided trip is more than just going to try to catch fish. It's a good learning tool. I've had so many people, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? Book a guide trip. Not necessarily with me. I'll recommend them to somebody else. Bryson, Kevin. There's plenty of other people. Rob, Stoddard.
you got a huge network that you can say
yeah.
are STONEY Stone verified and approved because I've either fished with all of them or I know them personally. But yes, we say yes, these are Stone. Not that it
If
means
they
anything.
got Stoney to push fish on the boat, they're a good guy.
Well, and something to add to that too, Rob. I hear guys all the time complain about the money part of things, and like let's skip over our end of it about how much a boat costs, about how much people. Let's completely skip over that
Yeah.
from the client's perspective. We're talking about somebody who's going to go. They're not, if they're looking at a guide because they're having trouble but they don't want to pay the price. Let's just assume we're in that position of a potential client who's having a hard time catching fish. They don't want to spend $250, 220, 275, whatever everybody's charging at the time. But they're going to go buy a 12-pack of beer. They're going to buy an extra pack of cigarettes or Black and Milds. They're going to go buy 9 new lures. They're going to go try this new scent. A lot of these guys, when I start to have this conversation with them, they're all, you're right, I probably spend more than that every single time I go out alone. So even if you don't, you're a conservative guy, you go out with a Red Bull, a bottle of water, and 2 lures, and that's what you're going to do for the day. If you're not catching fish, how many times can you, that's still in today's day and age, 50, 80, 90 bucks. How many times are you going to go and not catch a fish versus even if you're going with an established guide, you can go and get skunked, but you understand that he's doing something effective that works on a regular basis and you can learn that. And that I think that that's incredibly valuable right there. We don't,
Yeah.
we offer an experience to people that want to come back all the time, but if somebody just wants to learn, there's definitely something to be learned. And I think a lot of guys should kind of look at it like that. Of even if you don't go 2 or 3 times, to go with that guide one time to make the next 10
Yep.
times you go more productive. That's a super sound investment. And I'm not advertising me. You, like you said, you can recommend them out to somebody else. That's general info of really how it is. I there could be that negative, like, oh, you paid to go on that trip type thing within certain parts of like the community. And I really don't. We waste so much money, whether you're a hunter or a fisherman. We waste so much money
Yep.
all the time. It's part of the hobby. So all of a sudden, where we get into, we don't want to pay somebody who's gonna be a really good investment in themselves potentially. That one kind of throws me for a loop every time when I hear that argument from people not wanting to pay the money because,
So one thing that I learned is, I do professional photography for a living, and the thing that I found and I looked at it is anybody can be a professional photographer. The only difference between me and somebody that say is really, really good is they get paid for what they do.
Yep.
And I look at what I do. I get paid to take photos. It doesn't mean I'm a great photographer. It means I know how to run a business. I know how to get a decent photo. I know how to make money at it. There's a lot of people out there that are
we
great.
take some good photos.
No, we do.
I know we take some great photos.
I love your guys'
The
content.
photos
I think
we
you're
take,
doing good.
we take great photos.
No, but what I'm saying is that to that point, right? It boils down to just the guys that are making money at it doesn't mean they're the best out there doing it. It's you want to find the balance of the guys working hard trying to make this happen. Figure out their style. You're gonna learn. I still book guide trips. Before we started filming, I was booking 6-7 guide trips a year with different guides. Why? Because of what you just said. I learned so much. Because I got tired of going out and not catching fish. Right? Still don't catch fish, but at least I went out and had fun
learning. You
learning.
still go on guide trips to catch fish. Then
Right.
we go out together, no fish. Then we get or 2 guide trips. The second one we finally catch fish.
It's all
and
part of fishing.
There's other
no
good
guarantees.
resources out there too.
Yeah.
There's it's not just Fishing with Stony Stone, Kevin Brock, Sac Valley Gills and Guns. The Doc Talk side of it. There's Angler West Television.
Yep.
There's all the bass fishing shows. There's so many YouTube videos nowadays. There's free stuff and there's paid stuff. Our Patreon that we have with Fishing with Stony Stone. It's $3 to $10 to subscribe. There's so much more that you can get out of it other than information.
It's like Costco. You're going to pay a membership fee and you get some good deals. Join the Costco of Stoney Stone.
Yeah, but there's little tips and tricks that may make a difference between you catching fish and you not. Or, you can have a good laugh and go, look at this guy. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing, in your opinion.
That's what I do with Stoney all the time.
But
why am I up at 4:30 in the morning on a boat launch? And this motherfucker is like, "Oh, are you already down there? You might get a ticket. You're too early, you motherfucker." And then I have never caught a fish before 9 a.m. with Stoney. Anything, I'm like, why the fuck am I at the boat launch at 4:30 when you don't even catch till 9?
Not during striper season. I'll take you out at 6 o'clock at night and bring you back when the sun starts coming up.
All right, come on, buddy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, let's catch some fish. Ruin me, baby.
Screw that.
Ruin me, baby. Ruin me. Ruin me so good, Daddy.
Stoddard's down in the comments. He just aged himself pretty good.
Oh, yeah. No,
What'd Stoddard say, Bryson?
He said before
put that
YouTube,
comment
we used
up.
to have to read document threads, write-ups, and books about how to do all this with exclamation marks. And it's the exclamation marks at the end. That's another aging part right there.
But I'll have to look in my Rolodex.
I love you, Rob, if you're listening, and I appreciate you for all the years of
The Rolodex.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'll look you up in my Rolodex, Rob. I'll give you a call.
Find Fishing with Stony Stone on the yellow pages.
Yeah.
So some of Stoddard's early on clients that still stay with him. They're friends with my uncle and they're neighbors too. And he's had to get a hold of me before. Do you know Rob's number? I can't find it on the internet. Just like, and it was out there, but it's just, guys in that age range sometimes.
Dude, I love Rob too. Rob is one of our guides that support us, and we fish with him a couple times a year. In fact, we've got a couple Kevin Brock sponsored trips we're doing. We're doing with Robbie. We're doing one with Rob. Devin, I think we're doing one. So you've heard a little bit about that. Is our Kevin Brock sponsored trips where you get to win a rod and win some cool stuff. So those are all coming together with different guides, that are pushing some product. So excited to see all that come together. And we're going to give away another trip next week, Robbie.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give it away to you. You guys we'll give it away, and then we'll work out when they can get on, and hopefully it's a day we can film too, and they'll get a cool video of us filming them on their winning trip, so we'll sort that all out.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to talking about that next week. Bryson, thanks so much for coming on. Everybody in the audience, crowd.
Thank you for having me. It was a good time with you boys.
Yeah. It's good.
So make sure to chat, you guys. Yeah, the chat group. Make sure you leave comments. What did you like? What you didn't like? Send me a note. If you're a guide or a business or you want to get involved, let us know. And we do have a vetting out process we go through on everybody that wants to go. Some of them are freed. If you're a guide, we don't charge guides. But if you say are a guide and you have a business and you want to advertise that business, we'll talk about that. It's a little bit different. But like Anthony, he does his carpet business, and I've got a few other people. And I've got a few realtors reaching out to me saying, hey, I want to be on. So there'll be some new ads coming back through on some realtors. And,
awesome.
Appreciate all you guys. Robbie, you're awesome, man. I'm sure we're going to probably talk again later, last night or last time. I don't remember how late we stayed, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make all this stuff happen. So, Robbie, appreciate you, buddy.
Guys, if you want to get out with Bryson's going to let you know here in just a sec how to get a hold of him. Bryson, you want to let them know how to get a hold of you and book a trip?
Absolutely. Geese Freaks Hunting and Fishing Guide Service. It's Geese Freaks on Instagram. We're a Facebook group, not the actual page that's Geese Freaks. And then just Bryson Welsh on Facebook. You'll see my posts. There's numbers and stuff like that on there for getting a hold of me.
What's
we
your phone
have
number?
916-472-5679.
And Robbie, now, here's my dumbass is you sent me a logo, right? I think it was this logo you wanted me to do something with. And then we had a different conversation after that, and I somehow crossed that logo with that conversation and didn't do anything with the logo. But I will do something with this logo to put it on our ad rotation in there. So, Bryce, you will get some advertising.
Thank you, sir. That's also
you just get
a
longer play out of it now.
Great.
No, but that's what we do. I can take what I have, and you'll see what I do with it. You'll be like, wow, you guys, Eric gives me shit for talking about AI, but it's my friend.
All the time.
Hey, we just designed my new cards with AI, and it was crazy.
There
you
you
type
go.
in,
Perfect.
I like this, and then it gives you a blank, and then you're all, no, but you need to adjust this and make this bigger and make this more realistic. And it's like, okay, just a minute. And it's like there's a real person in there. I was all, this is...
No, it is.
Nobody else watched Terminator growing up, apparently. I thought we knew
exactly.
better.
Oh, I did. That's why I don't like it. That's why I'm so against it. I watched Terminator. I've watched The Matrix. I've watched iRobot. Like
that movie,
these motherfuckers are going to start.
Was a crazy one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
well, sooner or later, even the guides, there'll be robots on the boat. Be like, oh, here doing guide service, Waymoo style, and yeah.
Hold on, we're
Just
past.
You wait. Just you wait, Stoney.
We're past 8:00, but I don't want to end the podcast. I want to basically, respect people's time, and the people's time is basically who's on screen. So Robbie, Bryce, if you guys want to continue, we'll continue. This is a good conversation. We're having a good time.
Yeah, I got a few minutes before it's bedtime for the kiddos.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
exactly.
fine with it.
And then,
yeah, we got all the time for the upcoming robot invasion.
Oh my God.
And I am willing to
you guys,
start
now
this.
you got me worried. I thought we were in an industry that's safe for that, but now you got me thinking maybe we gotta get AI.
Nope, MIT's making those robots. Like, have you seen the robot dogs coming after people? And
so it's okay. It's okay for Eric to start talking about the robot dogs and bullshit. When I start bringing up the Anunnaki, I get, don't bring that up.
Hey, we're not talking about history. Okay? We're talking about current events. But if you want a history podcast, we can start a history podcast. But we're talking about fishing on the Feather River.
This is new segment, Fishing with Stony Stone After Dark. After all, everybody logs off. Now it's like, this is when Eric and I just talk about what the hell just happened on the show today. No, we can continue, Robbie. Keep going.
Let's wrap this up. Robbie, how can we get a hold of you?
He wants to go.
Captain Rob Pyatt, Sac Valley Gills and Guns Guide Service. You can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or you can give me a call at 530-713-2445. And make sure you leave a voicemail if you call me, please.
Yes.
That part.
Bryson, did we give your information again if you didn't already?
Yes. Bryson Welsh, the Facebook group Geese Freaks, the page on Instagram, Geese Freaks with an _, and then my phone number is 916-472-5679. And leave a message like he said, please. Leave a message or send a text. Don't just call and then let me hear 3 weeks later that you wanted the book but went with somebody else because I didn't answer your call. So I might have been guiding somebody else and not trying to take from their time.
I would say, in general, anybody booking a guide trip, give it 24 hours. If I call any of these guides and they don't answer within that same day, then go to the next guy. But, these guys are working either a day job or they're on the river. If they don't call you back right away, they're probably working. But give that respect. Give them, 24 hours, and then go to the next guy, right?
You wouldn't want someone calling and interrupting your guide on your fishing trip.
No.
Don't expect them to interrupt someone else's trip.
Yeah, if I don't think it's somebody potentially needing help on the water or somebody with a fishing report that pertains to our trip, I silence it and I send them a text.
Yep.
That's why he never answers my call.
Oh, is that why?
Just kidding. Anyway. Bryce, appreciate you getting on. Robbie, awesome job as always. Tune in next Monday for Fishing with Stony Stone. Or, if you can't wait, get on Thursday with Kevin Brock. We're doing Real Talk with Kevin Brock at 7 o'clock. And a little format change next week with him because he kind of just runs the show, and I'm just a little guy in there. So we're going to make some screen setting changes, which will make everybody happy.
Ooh, that's fun. You got a little upgrade, a little podcast upgrade on the Kevin side?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway. All right. That's it.
Oh, wait. Did we ever get into how you actually caught or how we turn on the fish bite?
Oh, the fish bite. Yeah. So, again, we're still live on here. We haven't dropped.
We're still live.
People left, which is cool. So, the fish bite. So, we talk about the banana thing, right? And Eric's the banana cameraman. And so I'm getting some bait up, and we're drifting the river sideways. And so in order for me to cast right, and Eric's tall, right? He doesn't sit so short, but I've got to.
But all day I'm very conscious about how you're casting. I'm moving my head around and everything.
Like, don't worry, I'm not going to hit you.
Yeah, well, exactly, Stoney.
I'm like, no,
Stoney's like, oh, you're good.
Well,
don't worry about it.
One little cast with some fresh, gooey salmon eggs. As we're moving, and a boat came by. There's a little bit of a wake, and I'm sitting here waiting, and that little gooey thing just kind of slid over and kind of maybe got into his hair a little bit.
It nudged. I mean, I didn't feel the hook, but I felt the row.
It's that
I felt the
row in his hair, and it comes back. Don't worry, I got it, right? So he's getting in my hair. Well, guess what? We caught the salmon on that bit. So maybe you just got to rub the banana on the bait. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it definitely hit the banana cameraman.
Because we went from no fish to catching fish.
Yes.
We went from fishing to catching with Stony Stone real quick.
So maybe
after you hit the banana, you got to just rub it on the banana just a little bit.
Dude, you got to be careful.
Just
now
right
what's going to happen is when we start filming, people are going to be rubbing their bait all over you. Now, great, you're going to stink because you're rubbing the bait on the cameraman.
I already stink when I'm done with the fishing trips.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Does stink. Anyway, we are over time. My guests have left, and we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week.
Is that the best goodbye you're going to give?
That's the best.
Come on, you can do better than that. Fine.
Thank you for watching Fishing with Stony Stone. Tune in next week or join the club at fwss.club and get involved with everything we're doing. Always there to help you catch more fish. Is that better?
That's what I'm talking about.